Okay, guys, and we're back with another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest. I'm Seth from the Lonely Stoner podcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the recent news around Dave Allen calling out Deontay Wilder. Now, obviously, both guys are in the heavyweight division. Deontay Wilder, the former world champion, and Dave Allen, up until this point, was sort of European, British level fighter, right? Who's got a couple of losses on his career, few stoppages, but for the most part, up until this point, all the biggest names he'd fought, he'd lost to, right? Obviously, now that he's knocked out Johnny Fisher, he slept Johnny Fisher in, I think it was the fifth round. I was at the Copper Box, so I was at that fight, but stopped him in the fifth round in what was undoubtedly the biggest win of Dave Allen's career. Now, Dave Allen, I think he wants to naturally sort of make the most, capitalise on this newfound momentum and fame, and obviously would have got paid very handsomely for knocking out Johnny Fisher. He wants to capitalise on that, and he wants to fight the biggest names he can. Naturally, Deontay Wilder being still quite a big name in the sport, obviously lost a lot of momentum, lost the power, lost the in-ring power and the out-of-ring power he once had as well. But nonetheless, is still a former world champion who, to maybe the casual fan, is still somewhat respected because of his record, right? You know, however many wins, however many knockouts, right? Still has some respect. Obviously, those of us who know boxing, who have watched his past fights, we know that he is an absolute shell of his former self, right? Dave Allen wants to fight Deontay Wilder. Now, this is a great fight for Dave Allen, an awful fight for Deontay Wilder. Now, I'll talk about why it's a bad fight for Deontay Wilder first. First of all, because Deontay Wilder probably loses that fight is why it's such a bad fight for him. But also, he loses that fight. He wouldn't get paid a tremendous amount, I wouldn't imagine. And Dave Allen could do some serious harm. Dave Allen can bang. He's got a lot of knockouts on his resume. I mean, no one has doubted Dave Allen's power. And if he's knocking, putting to sleep Johnny Fisher, I can only imagine the sort of stuff he would do to Deontay Wilder, right? So that's why it's a bad fight for Deontay Wilder. It's a good fight for Dave Allen because it would be, again, another very big name on Dave Allen's resume, and would be a good win. Probably, the way Deontay Wilder's looking, will probably be another highlight reel knockout, and would be quite a big payday relative to Dave Allen. Now, it would be a small payday for Deontay Wilder relative to Deontay Wilder's paydays, but a big payday to Dave Allen relative to Dave Allen's recent paydays, where a guy like Deontay Wilder, he was probably financially secure from boxing a very long time ago, even before the Tyson Fury fights, in my opinion, when he was WBC heavyweight champion, undefeated, knocking out everyone. No doubt, even during that stage, before he fought Tyson Fury, he was still clearing seven-figure paydays, I'd imagine. Comfortable seven-figure paydays. You know? So he was already probably financially stable a very long time ago. Then those fights with Tyson Fury, I think it was 3 fights, wasn't it? Those 3 Tyson Fury fights secured it for life. Right? So, to be fair to Deontay Wilder, he doesn't need to fight anymore. So, because he is doing it, clearly because of the love of the sport, and this was a point I was thinking about before I even clicked record, but Deontay Wilder is one of the few boxers that I can think of where the further on in his career he got, the worse his boxing IQ got. Can you imagine that? Where, obviously, the older you get, of course, physically you're going to deteriorate, especially with some of the damage Deontay Wilder's taken, but you very rarely see a guy's boxing IQ decline. I'm thinking of one other heavyweight. I'm thinking of Mike Tyson, but Mike Tyson had injuries and a lot of other stuff going on outside of the ring for Mike Tyson, and mentally, by the time he was fighting in the early 2000s, was shot to bits. I say that probably is similar for Deontay Wilder. I mean, Deontay Wilder's out of the ring life isn't as chaotic as Mike Tyson's was, come the end of Mike Tyson's career. But, you know, his in-ring career was a mess, if we're being honest. Losing to scrubs, losing to guys you never really heard of. At least Deontay Wilder's not quite at that point yet. But if Deontay Wilder was to fight Dave Allen and Dave Allen was to beat him, then you're sort of entering that territory. And Dave Allen's a very dangerous boxer, especially to a guy like Deontay Wilder, who's lost a lot of his size, a lot of his athleticism, and a lot of his power. No, not athleticism, I won't say, because he does look somewhat light on his feet, but it makes no difference because Dave Allen is going to walk him down and put a beating on him, right? The same way Zhang did. Very similar to that. Where he's just a big body, he's going to walk him down and put a beating on him. That's what Allen would do to Deontay Wilder as well. But like I said, it's a very bad fight for Tyson Fury. I'd be surprised if he accepts it. I mean, respect to it's a very bad fight for Deontay Wilder. Sorry if I said Tyson. Very bad fight for Deontay Wilder. Respect to Deontay Wilder if he takes that fight. If he gets offered to him and he takes it, then you got to respect the dude. Because, you know what I mean? He's coming to bang, like, he just wants to get paid. He just wants to fight. He clearly loves fighting at that point. So if that fight gets made, fair play. Hopefully it happens in the UK. But who knows? I'd imagine it would. It would have to. It would have to, right? Because Dave Allen, at this moment, has got a bit of momentum and has shown he's got a bit of a fan base here in the UK. Whereas Deontay Wilder, I wouldn't fancy Deontay Wilder to sell out anywhere in Las Vegas anymore. I mean, his current fight is in the back arse of nowhere, so maybe he could do something like that. If he could get like a small arena and sell it out, maybe. The economics behind that sort of fight would be very interesting, but yeah, it's unlikely in my opinion because Dave Allen is a far better boxer than Deontay Wilder at this moment and would be quite an easy fight and a very easy payday for Dave Allen. But yeah, another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag. Let me know what you think of this fight. Am I overestimating Dave Allen? Am I underestimating Deontay Wilder? Do you think if these two were to fight, could Deontay Wilder win this fight? I'd be curious to know what you guys think. But I'm out. Peace.